Hello, my name is Dr. Arthur McClinu. I've dedicated my life to providing surgical care to patients with heart disease. My life began in the slums of Soweto in South Africa, where I learned to overcome adversity and illnesses, including the death of my best friend. That's why I want to be a resource for you and your family for consultation related to heart and cardiovascular needs. You can learn more about me by visiting my website, which is at zuluchaskada.com.
Thank you. Welcome to the Roland Grimes, Not Just Sports and Entertainment Show. I'm your host, Roland Bubba Grimes. And as always, well, actually, once again, my resident co-host has traded me in for another model. So Wilbert Skipper is not on set right now. Actually, this young lady I will introduce you to in a second. But we are taping live once again from Society Lounge, 8229 Georgia Avenue, Silver Spring, Maryland. And folks, if you would, I would like you to put your hands together for my next guest. I'm going to call her International Kels, Miss Kelly Swann, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much.
I'm going to turn the mic down because I'm a little bit too loud. Miss Kelly Swann,
Yes, sir.
where are you from?
I am from Owings Mills, Maryland.
Owings Mills.
Owings Mills.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Why? Why are you from Owings Mills?
Why am I from? That's the place to be, right? That's where the Ravens training camp is. I mean, why not?
Okay.
Oh, that.
All right, I'll go. I mean, you're in Redskin country now.
I'm
Sister girl.
sorry.
That's all right. That's all right.
But, you know,
Go
home
Ravens.
of the Super Bowl champion Ravens.
Home of the Super Bowl champions.
Yes, that's where I live.
We can't argue with that in 2013.
Absolutely not.
So you enjoyed this past football season? You a Ravenette fan too?
I am a
Are you?
huge Ravens fan.
Really?
So, yes, I absolutely enjoyed it.
So this must have been.
I don't mean to rub it in anyone's face.
No, let's rub it in. I mean, all the folks in California watching, she's rubbing it in.
I have to.
But you can get them back next year. But for right now, she gets the glow.
Yes.
Have you had a chance to meet any of these Ravens that are running around Owings Mills?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Of course, Ray Lewis, number 152. Ray Rice. I've met Jacoby Jones. I actually had some pictures taken with him at TGI Friday. He was just there having some drinks. So.
Super. So some of these guys, if you see them without their helmets on, they kind of look like regular
They
people.
look like regular people. He was chilling at the bar. So.
It's just that their clothes are a little swollen.
Right.
That's about it, right? All right, so are you a football fan or just a Ravens fan?
I'm a football fan. Of course, my team is the Ravens, but
Right.
I am a football fan.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Now,
You're looking
did
at me like, yeah, right.
No, that's all right. I'm with that. No,
I
I'm
really
with.
am.
I'm going to test you a little while. So,
Don't test me.
So now, were you an athlete when you were in school too?
Yes, I played soccer in the 9th grade.
Is that right?
Yes, I played soccer. I ran track all 4 years, and I was a cheerleader all
Do
4 years.
tell. Now, what were your events in track?
I ran the 4x4. I was actually I forget what you call it now.
The
I haven't done
anchor?
it. The anchor leg. That was me.
She hasn't done it in so long. She forgot she's the
so
anchor.
long.
So you could fly.
Yes, absolutely.
Do tell.
Little teeny legs would be.
That's all right. So now that you have decided to hang up your spikes,
Right.
you are doing, and you said you cheered as well. You cheered in
Absolutely.
high school, college, what?
High school, college. I did like a month of professional for the Ravens.
Okay.
Had an injury, but
Okay. Wait a minute. You know I'm getting ready. How does a cheerleader?
listen, cheerleading is very, very aggressive, and it's a sport. All of those flips and jumps and splits and kicks and all that stuff we do.
Okay.
We were in the weight room with the guys as well, doing our leg presses and our all that stuff.
Okay, so look, I'm going to embody this.
Okay.
Cheerleading is a sport with all the
Cheerleading is a
flips.
sport.
They have to train, they have to run,
Yes.
they have to juice, they have to do all the things
All those
necessary
things, all
to
those
be able to compete or to perform in the
Absolutely.
rain, in the sleet, in the snow. I know it's a difficult thing. Now, where did you go to college?
I went to the University of Delaware.
You're a blue hen.
Blue hen. Whoop, whoop.
The whole time?
Uh-huh.
All 4 years?
Well, I actually only went for 4 years. I went for 2 years while I was in high school, and then
Okay.
I did 2
Oh, so
years.
you took like AP classes there. Oh, so
Right.
you smart bug too, huh?
Just a
Go
little
ahead,
bit.
girl. All right, so look, so Delaware University, but you also completed some graduate courses, I think, recently
At Towson.
in communications.
Yes.
Tell me about that experience.
Well, I'm actually still going through the experience, so it's I absolutely love what I do. I absolutely love communications. I also, even though they don't have a pre-law program anymore, I took pre-law when I was at University of Delaware, and I'm doing it some more classes now. So communications is it.
So pre-law, communications, cheerleader, track, a host, producer. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Okay.
Now, you have some projects out there right now, and some of them are built around the industry of real estate.
Yes.
Can you tell us about it?
Well, I spent 15 years in corporate America as a regional property manager. Started off as a leasing consultant, worked my way up. So basically what I do now is I always felt like we didn't have a format to formally advertise what we do. We use the apartment guide, we did the paper,
Correct.
all of the typical things, but now
But
that
nothing was sizzle, right?
nothing was sizzle. We would get a lot of blind leads. And now that everything is moving towards social media, I decided to kind of capitalize on it a little bit and say, you know what? I created a company. It's called RKS Exclusive. And basically, my company focuses on social media, radio, and television ads, all combined into one package, so that property managers, realtors are able to advertise what they do.
Now, RKS are your initials, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct. That's correct.
Okay, so you help these places advertise. Now, when we come back, we're going to talk more about that, and then
Okay.
we're going to get into some other things. Hey, folks,
right.
sit tight. Coming back at you in a few minutes. Roland Grimes, Sports and Entertainment Show. Right back at you. All right, folks. You may notice that the claps are dying down because here at the Society Lounge, everyone's just finished eating. And you know what happens when that itis kind of kicks in, everyone gets a little bit tired. But me and my good friend Kelly, we're getting our second win, and we're just getting into the second half because she's a big football fan, cheerleader, trackster, and I played tiddlywinks, as y'all all know. I didn't really participate in too many major sports. But Ms. Kelly, let me go back to what I was talking to you about a little bit earlier.
Okay.
This property management, real estate advertising, now I'm going to get it all twisted up, so just forgive me.
No problem.
However, you're going into it now. You said that with social media especially, you can do some things to creatively advertise and put a little bit of sizzle into
Absolutely.
property promotions.
Yes.
Now, give me an example of a typical client that you have. What do you do? When they come to you, what do you tell them and what do you do for them?
Well, basically, one of the clients I have right now, they basically just built a property right in Owens Mills, not too far from me, and they were struggling with advertising. They were struggling with getting the property filled. Brand new property is kind of off the beaten path. So I said, basically what I'll do is I'll direct traffic to you in an unconventional way. It's not going to be through the apartment guide. It's not going to be through the signs that you put on the street. It's going to actually drive you direct traffic to your site. So what we'll do is we'll come out to the site, we'll shoot a commercial. We'll do like a virtual 360 tour of the property. We'll create like a YouTube video for them. And then we will give them a package deal where we'll advertise them on our internet radio show, and then we'll, the commercial that we shoot for them, we'll put it on our actual show that we do, the real estate show. So
tell me about this internet radio show.
YouHaveToListen.com.
YouHaveToListen.com.
YouHaveToListen.com. I have a show Monday nights. It's called Diva Talk with International Kels. And basically, I talk to women in business. I talk to people who are entrepreneurs who are trying to get their business up and running. And every once in a while, I have a little bit of, testosterone come on the show and co-host with me, but it's mainly dedicated.
Testosterone. She's talking about us, y'all.
Yeah, sorry.
That's okay.
But yeah, it's mainly dedicated to women in business. So.
Okay.
Monday nights, 5 to 7. And then I also have another show that I do on Wednesday nights. It's at a different radio station. It's called ListenVisionLive.com, where you can actually see us while we're playing independent music. And I do that with the Transition Kings.
And we've seen you online live while you're playing music of independent or brand new artists.
Absolutely.
People trying to get their music out. Now, do they sometimes come to the studio as well, the artists?
We're going to start doing that, actually.
Okay.
We're going to start doing that. We have another show that we do. It's called The Lineup, where they actually do come to our studio and they perform their song, and we host it. I basically interview them and find out what's going on, what they have coming up next.
Okay. All right. Now, without telling all of the trade secrets, what does some of the future look like for International Kels Swann?
Well, in addition to the RKS exclusive, the executive production of Baltimore's Fast, I also executive produce a show called Make Your Dollar Holla. It's on the EGTVN, which is a new network that's coming out with the Dish Network. And that's basically all about showing you how to shop in budget. $50 and under, I can do a whole outfit for you. They can look the tour and an outfit. So,
what's that new couture thing you have going on?
So with that, more retro or just more of everything.
And the Roland Grimes show, maybe.
The Roland Grimes show. That's it.
Well, tell me this. You had a chance, and it's okay if you hurt my feelings. I'm not too sensitive.
Okay.
You had a chance to take a look at some of our programs online before you actually came to our station. We talked on the phone. I buzzed the studio, tried to convince you to come down here or come over here and cross that Baltimore County border or whatever that is.
Right.
Come into Montgomery County and spend some time with us. Tell me 2 or 3 things that you saw from the Roland Grimes show when you looked at it with your production mind, with your host eye. Tell me what you gathered from that program that featured you.
Well, I just love the fact, I know we had an off-camera conversation about it, but just the fact that everything you do is not just in the studio.
When you give me an example, I think you talked to me about a typical client, but in moving forward with this, the old traditional model of real estate, notice your real estate guides, your magazines, your real estate channel.
Right.
Those things, for whatever reason, to you, they weren't sufficient to connect the consumer with the opportunity to move into a place.
Right.
Tell me why.
Well, you get so many unqualified leads. I had an example of, I had a property here in Silver Spring, actually, Hampshire Village. Well, there's a property, there are 2 Hampshire villages. So when you when you Google Hampshire Village, you don't know which property you're calling. One was affordable housing, one was senior, and one was, just regular conventional housing. So doing this social media is the way that we do it. We actually direct the correct traffic to you so that you're getting the qualified leads. You're not just wasting your money and spinning your wheels, answering the phone, and
I mean, the way you describe it, people should be beating your door down to work with you.
They absolutely should. Because I'm not just coming from an advertising aspect. I'm coming from an insider in the business who, managed 3,000 units, who had 37 people under me, who had to be completely in control of the financials. And
now you're kind of cosmic because I actually have a real estate link on my website, and I was looking to do the very same thing that you're doing now in terms of advertising real estate agents, properties, and connecting the consumer with them in a very creative way. Making commercials for them, I think you mentioned that earlier.
Yes.
Put them on YouTube, also run through the show. Now you have of course you have the show. Tell me more about the show. You have on Monday nights, I believe.
Monday night show is Diva Talk. I always say it backwards. Diva Talk with International Kels. For some reason I said International Kels, I don't know anyway. But anyway, yes. So that show is dedicated to business women in business, entrepreneurs who are successful, but they haven't always, they're not at Oprah level.
Gotcha.
So I bring them on, I interview them, I talk to them about what they're doing, and I kind of just give them some publicity to what they're doing. And then every once in a while, I have someone co-host with me and give me another perspective on what's going on.
Now, were we born and raised in this? Did we drink the same water growing up? Because everything you're talking about, I've either done or I'm trying to do now. So
I think so. We just connected so easily. It was kind of like, I think so.
Now, when you were watching the Roland Grimes show, and you actually had a chance to watch it online a couple of times before we spoke, actually as we were speaking, and before you saw this whole monstrosity live and in person, what did you gather from the show when you first watched it?
Well, I coming here today and seeing it online, I thought it was just about sports and entertainment. I wasn't sure exactly how it was all put together. But now that I see that it's more, like you keep saying, it's more than just a sports and entertainment show, I'm hooked. And I think that it's a great platform for anyone who's in business, who wants to get their name out there. And I think you're doing an awesome job. So
thank you, I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Now, part of doing that awesome job is to recruit people like you to collaborate with folks like us.
Right.
And based on what you've told me up to now, in terms of your production mind, in terms of what you studied in school, and as you move forward into the next phase of the international care life, I think that we have opportunities where we can collaborate on projects, and also even something as simple as you coming in and doing some co-producing, some co-hosting as you're doing now.
Absolutely.
Now, but nobody can do everything.
Right.
And I listen to you, and it sounds to me like you're pushing that envelope a little bit to be E-Woman. Now, I know you hear this from other people, so forgive me if I'm banging the same drum.
Okay.
But how do you effectively manage all of these different elements of Kelly Swann International Care?
Having good people under me. Good people, I'm not going to say even under me, having good people working with me.
No such thing. I'm joking. I'm joking. I got good people too. I was joking.
I have really good people. I have my cousin who is my office manager. She's also like my personal assistant. I have my father who I'm in business with. I have another guy who is business partners with us. He's our accountant, and he also does a lot of help.
Administrative type stuff.
Right, a lot of administrative type work. And then on the radio side, I have really good people, the Transition Kings, You Have to Listen. They really give me a lot of good feedback and do a lot of stuff with me. So I'm very blessed.
And now the other day when I called you, you were actually on your way to the gym, and you inspired me, so I started working out a little bit more too at that time. You may hear some noise from time to time, folks. We're actually shooting at the Society Lounge, and the restaurant is happening, so they're cleaning up, putting the trash out, all those good things. But this is what makes the Roland Grimes, not just sports entertainment show, so unique, because we don't hide a thing.
Absolutely.
So now Cooney just gave me the 1 minute mark, so I'm going to say this quickly, and then we're going to bring you back and we're going to finish up.
Sure.
The I'm not even going to say wearing these different hats, but you also go to the gym, and you also get your hair done, or hair did,
Hair
and your
did.
face done. And so how do you fixate all of this stuff into a 24-hour period?
It's not always easy because I'm also a mother of 4. All of my children are age 10 and under, so actually 9 and under. She's not even 10 yet.
I'm gonna take a breath on that.
Right,
Wow.
right. I've had to learn how to do a lot of stuff on my own. I've learned how to do my own makeup. I do my own hair sometimes. I just, I've tried to be very versatile in my talent. So I just get it done. I don't sleep either, so it's part of it.
Yeah, well, I'm wondering when you're gonna sleep. But look, we'll be back in a minute. Hey, folks, Roland Bubba Grimes, Roland Grimes, Not Just Sports Entertainment Show. We'll be back in a few minutes. Sit tight. Welcome back to the Roland Grimes, Not Just Sports Entertainment Show. I told you we had a little surprise for you. Once again, I just want to congratulate for the return of the Roland Grimes Show, my good friend, international Kels Swann. But we also have a gentleman, debonair as he may be. He's one of the few people that dresses as well as Eugene Helms, who was on earlier today. This is Mr. Rich. Everybody put your hands together for Mr. Rich Glover. Now, I just want y'all to know the last Rich Glover I knew played football for like the Nebraska University. He was a Lombardi Outlander. Kels shaking her head like she know what I'm talking about, nodding her head like she knows what I'm talking about. And he was an All-American football player in Nebraska. Obviously, my man Rich Glover here didn't quite play football for Nebraska, so he might be like his twin brother, like Arnold Schwarzenegger and that dude that was in the movie with him, Danny DeVito. But anyway, nonetheless, man, thank you for being here. Let me shake hands with you.
Thank you so much.
Rich Glover, I got a question for you.
Yes.
Who the hell are you and why are you here?
Well, I'm the only African-American wine sommelier with a radio show to go into 100 countries and 50 states in the United States every Monday night on Bliss.fm, and it's called The Cellar. On top of that, I have an online magazine called The Cellar News, and we talk about wine and lifestyle.
Wow.
You know what? I wasn't ready for this one. Let me put my game face on. Kelly, Kelly, did we see that coming?
No, not at all. I was like, okay.
All right, well, look, let me get back into character here.
Right,
Okay. All right, let me check my nose hairs, make sure we're straight in.
I feel like I have to get extra sophisticated here.
Let's do this. All right, Kelly, I am going to let you ask a question next, but Mr. Rich Glover.
Yes, sir.
What is it about this wine that gets you so fired up?
Well, I've been doing this for the last 4 years, and I have upscale wine events every month, or either black tie wine events where people come and I introduce them to wine. I give them education, and I don't make it feel like you gotta be uppity about it. We demystify, as we call it. And of course, with the radio show, we're actually going into a first year of being on the radio show come March the 1st, 52 shows and counting.
Wow.
And again, like I said, we are at Bliss.fm in Studio 202 out of downtown Washington, D.C., and we go into 100 countries every Monday night. And we not only just talk about wine appreciation, wine tips, wine in a day of history, we also talk about lifestyle. Better places to eat, dinner, fine dining. We talk about real estate. We talk about taxes. Everything the full circle for those who enjoy luxury and lifestyle.
Look, if we add that element to the Roland Grimes Show, would you come back and be a part of that?
I will come back happily every time.
Solid.
Really great.
Miss Kell, I'm going to pass this on to you now.
Well, my question is, I don't really drink wine. I don't really drink at all. So
I just started
Okay,
like
you just
5 seconds ago. My man done convinced me. I'm going to get some Merlot when I leave here.
Okay.
Right now, my brother. I'm sorry, Kel. I didn't mean to digress. Well, actually, I did, but go ahead.
No problem. So a new person coming in, what would you
Where do you
suggest?
start, right?
Right. What would you, where do I start?
Interesting, Kel, that you asked me that question because I also have a video series called Ask the Sommelier, where people send emails to me or video questions and they want to know about wine, but they always had the question but were always afraid to ask about it. So one of the questions that came to me was, hey Richard, I'm a novice to this, so I'm really afraid about wine. How do I get into it? You know, I mean, I really want to get into, especially red wines. So I recommended to her, I said, you need to start with a blend. And the blend is what I call them transitional wines. It's a wine that's a mixture of, maybe for example, the boldness of a Cabernet Sauvignon, the smoothness of a Merlot, and the sweetness of a Petit Syrah. And with that blend together, it's going to help you train your palate so you'll be able to enjoy the experience. See, drinking wine is an experience.
It is an experience.
You know, it's experience.
Damn, listening to you is an experience. I didn't know wine was so sexy. You know what I'm saying? Like, Cabernet, Merlot. Like, dude, just give me some Ripple and some Boone's Farm. But you know what? I'm sorry, y'all. Really, I don't drink Ripple and Boone's Farm. That was a joke. Look, a good friend of mine, Walt Jones, runs a mortgage company that I'm very fond of here in the DC area. And he and I had dinner one night, and I ordered a prime rib. And as we were talking, he said, hey man, I talked to my doctor, and my doctor said that I should drink a glass of red wine every day. Now, there's something about me, there's a flaw in my character. When people make suggestions that will better them in some way, like Ms. Kelly has given me some suggestions to make my show better, I have a tendency to listen and then try to implement some of that. So for the last 8 days, I have been drinking a glass of red wine every day for the last 8 days. And I want to give a shout out to one of my favorite stores, Dave Brown Liquors, over on Minnesota, I believe it's Minnesota Avenue, Northeast Washington, D.C. Family of the legendary Chuck Brown, Kevin Brown, just giving you a shout out. I'll be back, and I'm going to bring my man Rich with me, and Kelly too. Now, Kelly, you're going to try this blend when we finish talking.
I'm going to try to blend. Now, I have had a chocolate wine that I fell in love with.
Yes.
What is a chocolate wine, Rich?
A chocolate wine is a wine that...
Now, do you actually know what a chocolate wine is, or you going to make this up?
No. It's a wine that has chocolate. Actually, after they doing the fermentation process and the maceration process and the élevage, you know, once all that's done, they add an extra step to it, and that's adding the chocolate and licorice in. Now, chocolate wine...
We put chocolate in the wine?
Yeah. And you actually taste the chocolate and you smell the flavor of the chocolate. Actually, it has a long, hard finish, though.
It does.
You know, I had a joke, but I'm gonna keep it to myself. I had a joke. Y'all know where I was going with this. All right, but I'm gonna keep it to myself for now. Mature viewers only. But you said it has an extra punch when you're done?
Yes. It has a long, dry finish. And that finish, a finish will be about 3 or 4 minutes because chocolate increases and the sugar content. So that means you're going to have the normal content for alcohol in wine is about 13.8. The most you can put in it is 14%. But when you talk about chocolate wines or sweet wines, it's more. Exactly.
Okay.
So
because of the sugar and caffeine.
Well, there's some coffee in certain wines, and there is a chocolate wine that has coffee in it as well. You know, so that's part of the ingredients they put in when they fermentate.
So before we take a break, Kelly, tell me, how did that chocolate wine make you feel?
It knocked me out.
It
knocked me out for the count because I wasn't expecting. You know, it tastes like chocolate going down.
That's right.
And
and then it snuck up on you.
And if you like chocolate, then you're gonna become you want more of it. And so because of the higher alcohol content, it's gonna demystify you and take you down and put you to sleep.
All right, folks. Well, look, we're going to extend this segment a little bit. My man Rich Glover's here, and we're going to talk a little bit more about wines, and we're also going to talk about some of these fine dining establishments that he's going to hip us to. We'll be back in a second. Roland Bubba Grimes, Roland Grimes, Not Just Sports Entertainment Show. Sit tight. All right, folks. You hear the whistles and the claps. Everyone just went to the bar to get some chocolate wine and some Cabernet. I think that's what you call it, Cabernet. Some Cabernet Sauvignon and some Merlot and some Zinfandel. Give me some more.
Actually, they have a great chocolate double decker.
Super. Excuse me, folks. Make sure you order an Apothic Red when you get a chance. We're going to give that a sample. I know this is probably unprofessional of you, but tell me what your favorite 2 or 3 wines, if not necessarily the brand, but the type of wines that you and your contemporaries enjoy.
Roland, I'm glad you asked that question. A lot of people ask that question too, especially being a sommelier. First of all, I do like white wines, so if I'm gonna go with white wine, I'm gonna go with a Sauvignon Blanc, which is from New Zealand, and it has to be from New Zealand because New Zealand, being a New World winemaker, they took Old World processes from the aroma and they combined it with New World processes from the acidity and acidity. Now, what is basically that is that parent, the good attributes of mother, the good attributes of father, produces a great child, right?
Yeah.
By them using the good attributes of old world processes and then the good attributes of new world processes, the critics say drinking a glass of Sauvignon Blanc is like having sex for the first time.
Whoa! Oh my! Yeah.
That's what the critics say?
That's